This is a battle between Syracuse and Baktria in the Use It and Lose It tournament. Syracuse bringing 2 mercenary Italians, 2 Thoreos. In the center we have 2 mercenary Samnites, some Thorax Hoplites, Peltasts, Militia Hoplites, mercenary Balearics, and that's it for Syracuse. The general is a picked Hoplite. For Baktria, we have 4 Baktria Noble Horse, we have 4 mercenary Scythian Horse Archers, we have 2 Levy Pikes, then we have some Eastern Spears, Baktria Royal Guard, 3 Eastern Slingers, a few Thorax Swords for good measure. And this is a difficult prospect for Syracuse. Syracuse has done close to the right thing, I think, by going light on the cavalry. Mercenary Italians and citizen cavalry cannot hang with Baktria Noble Horse. Very few melee units can. It's hard to make Rhodians, Balearics, I mean, effective against Eastern Slingers. One way to do it would be to camp the forest. That would be a good choice. Then we have the annoying Horse Archers, able to chip away at the edges of Syracuse. But what Baktria lacks is staying power in the infantry. This is sort of a hybrid army, a bit of skirmish, bit of melee, bit of cav. But no single contingent of the army is going to be enough to defeat the enemy army on its own. Whereas for Syracuse, the infantry here is entirely capable of taking on Baktria head on and defeating it. Now Baktria has a nice deployment here, cavalry wide. Baktria knows it doesn't have anything to fear from Syracuse's cavalry. Can move the mercenary Scythian Horse Archers around the back of Syracuse. But it's not going to be easy to use the Horse Archers effectively with this amount of forest. The Eastern Slingers already firing. They looks like they are firing on the mercenary Balearics in the forest, which should mean that the mercenary Balearics should be able to return fire as well and do a lot of damage to these exposed Eastern Slingers. Because 2 against 3, that's a pretty good trade for the Balearics. And the Balearics will do damage to the Baktria Royal Guard as well. Nothing lost on the Eastern Slingers. Just as I say that, they start to lose men. The Baktria Royal Guard also takes damage. So here the Thorax Swords moving up, trying to push away the skirmishers. And this is where Syracuse needs to respond, because Syracuse cannot allow their mercenary Balearics to be pushed out of the forest. The Militia Hoplites pull back, and this is where Thorax Hoplites go in and essentially destroy the Thorax Swords. So we have the Thorax Hoplites moving up against the swords. The Thorax Hoplites, if they use Phalanx, they're going to be able to do very well against Thorax Swords. And just as I say it, they say form Phalanx now. Here comes the Bactrian Noble Cavalry straight into the mercenary Balearics. Frontal charge into the Thorax Hoplites. The Thorax Hoplites weathered the storm, but the Balearics lost some men there, and that's quite important. The Bactrian Noble Horse also lost a lot of men, so that wasn't a good trade for them actually. The Baktria Royal Guard about to be in some trouble here against Thorax Hoplites and the picked Hoplite General of Syracuse. This is not an engagement he wants to be in. We should see the Thorax Hoplites in, if they are in Phalanx, we should see them win against the Thorax Swords. It's even when they're not using Phalanx. But here, using Phalanx, you can see what's happening to the Thorax Swords. Now they got charged by mercenary Samnites as well, making it even worse for them. The Baktria Noble Horse go in frontally. This is a forested area, so the charges are going to be less effective. But Baktria still has units unused in the back here, able to go in for the all-important rear charges. But the Baktria Royal Guard is attacked in the rear. He's going to drop quickly to the combined assault of picked Hoplites and Thorax Hoplites. But these picked Hoplites take a considerable amount of fire from Eastern Slingers, so both generals are in a very dangerous, very exposed position here. And the picked Hoplites are actually dropping quicker, in no small part due to the Eastern Slingers. And the Eastern Slingers moving up very close now to get the most out of their ammunition. A good choice. Thorax swords losing. Pikes rushed in to help a bit. They're not getting many kills. These guys will be able to disengage at will afterwards. But here comes the Baktria Noble Horse. The Baktria Noble Horse only lost a man. Getting a rare charge on these Mercenary Veteran Hoplites is going to be devastating for the Mercenary Veteran Hoplites. There we go, out in the open, and the Mercenary Veteran Hoplites lost quite a few men there. But this is nicely done. Mercenary Italian swords coming into the fight. Now the Baktria Noble Horse are going to be hard pressed to disengage, and the Mercenary Veteran Hoplites, together with the Italians, will defeat the Baktria Noble Horse. In the center though, the picked Hoplites losing slightly, the Baktria Royal Guard just flat out losing. Here come the Baktria Noble Horse into the backs of Thorax Hoplites. The Thorax Hoplites have not disengaged from the pikes, but even so, the Levy pikes are losing decisively. The Italians got wrecked by Mercenary Scythian Horse. There is this cheeky unit of Balearic Slingers just standing around, firing on the Horse Archers. The Horse Archers should just charge it. The Baktria Noble Horse tried to pull out, but it's getting killed now by Mercenary Italians. Eastern Spears losing decisively to Mercenary Veteran Hoplites. But it looks like the picked Hoplite general of Syracuse is off the field, but the general isn't dead yet, so he's making his way across the battlefield somewhere. Baktria is also losing a lot of... Oh, he's actually here. He's not dead. He moved into the forest. Smart man. So Baktria is losing the all-important cavalry. Baktria doesn't have the infantry left to contend with Syracuse. Mercenary Veteran Hoplites into Eastern Spears. That's not going to end well for the Eastern Spears. And Mercenary Veteran Hoplites, they are a unit that can be used very effectively under the right circumstances. Mercenary Scythian Horse firing into the Eastern Spears. Into the Mercenary Veteran Hoplites. But they are in red morale because the general of Baktria has recently died. So who would have thought Baktria ending up losing to Syracuse of all things? But the forest here cannot be underestimated. But Baktria, having the amount of skirmish Baktria had, it would have needed to use its skirmishers for much longer and much more effectively. But it would be hard against two Rhodians in the forest here. So Syracuse has a lot left on the battlefield now. Baktria is defeated. And yes, we just saw Baktria defeated by Syracuse. In no small part due to the terrain on this particular map. Close victory there for Skinnyboy 654. Good game. Nice kills on Mercenary Veteran Hoplites. The Eastern Slingers didn't do too much. The Horse Archers didn't do too much. The Baktria Noble Horse, this is not the kind of performance you want out of several units of Baktria Noble Horse. And of course the Thorax Swords, they cannot carry a battle line. They simply cannot. So Baktria has to rely on its skirmish to get the job done. But on a forested map, that's very, very difficult to do. And if you take away the skirmish and the cavalry from Baktria, you're left with just a shitty Greek faction. And that was fairly well showcased in this battle, I think. Strength and honor.